Hello folks, I am the old sergeant. When I was young, I would enjoy the humor of Red Skelton. I remember watching him on the Red Skelton Show and his appearance in many other programs. He was there at the very beginning of the culture war started by the 1960s communist radicals. Mr. Skelton, a great American, did one of the most notable speeches in American history. It was about the Pledge of Allegiance. Here is one of his performances.
He says, I've been listening to you boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester, and it seems as though it's becoming monotonous to you. If I may I recite it and try to explain to you the meaning of each word. I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge. Dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity. Allegiance, my love and my devotion. To the flag, our standard, Old Glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there's respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. United. That means that we have all come together. States, individual communities that have united into 48 great states. 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose. All divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose. And that's love for country. And to the Republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation, and justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others, for all, which means, boys and girls, it's as much your country as it is mine. And now, boys and girls, let me hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance, under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that is a prayer, and that would be eliminated from schools too?
When I was in school, we would stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. No one stayed seated in protest and hatred for their own country. Hearing Red Skelton's Pledge of Allegiance brought out strong emotions. Lots of tears. Tears for the country we once were. I have some thoughts of the words of the pledge as they relate to today's America. I, me, myself, an individual, one whose rights are guaranteed and cannot be taken away for the perceived good of a collective. Pledge allegiance, dedicate my life, my fortune, and my sacred honor to a nation I love and served in the military to protect. To the flag, our banner. Old Glory, a symbol to represent the best of America and her people. The shining city on the hill. A symbol of freedom that is flown by the oppressed in other nations. And wherever she waves, there is respect and dignity because the flag is the symbol for the best mankind can be. Now children are disrespecting the flag and the American people by refusing to take the pledge, that is, in the schools that still do the pledge. Rich, pampered athletes take a knee during the national anthem, disrespecting the country where it was possible for them to achieve the status and wealth they have. Of the united, that meant we were together as a people. There were differences and conflicts that could be expected for a country that has people from every area of the world. But in the end, we were all Americans. The last time I saw unity in our country was in the wake of 9/11. Since then, we have gone from teasing each other over our political differences to the destruction of the unity of our families, our friends, our cities, our states, our nation. We have split to the point many want to destroy our nation's customs, traditions, culture, religion, and history. The hostility against the other has grown to the point some want the other dead because they see them as evil. States of America, I too was born in a time where there were just the 48 contiguous states. There was balance between the limited powers of the federal government, and what responsibilities were in the hands of the state governments. Each state could test their governmental management ideas on a state level. Things that worked were often adopted by other states and the federal government. What didn't work was discarded. Now states keep what doesn't work because it is in keeping with an ideological agenda. Agendas that had good intentions, but end up inflicting great harm on the citizens of the state, and sometimes the whole country. When these states fail, they seek aid from the federal government, taking money from people in states that do not do, and do not vote, for stupid, expensive and harmful things. Many state governments have become so oppressive they have counties wanting to secede from the state. Our federal government has now become so oppressive many states like Texas are seriously considering leaving the Union. And to the Republic, you often hear politicians talk about our democracy rather than our republic. Small d democracy is a general classification for government by the people. Big D democracy is mob rule where the masses vote to take rights and property from the minority. A republic, where we send representatives to Congress, makes sure the rights of the individual are protected. Marxist politicians now rule by edict enforced by police. Good police quit. Bad police will do anything the politician says and can care less about the rights of the people as outlined in the Constitution. For which it stands, one nation, despite the sometimes vast differences between the people in each state, we come together to form one nation. A nation that is now on the verge of breaking up in civil war. Under God, we did say under God. Our founding documents acknowledged our rights come from God. On Sunday in church, we heard how we as individuals, and as a country, serve God. Now it is rare for people to say under God. If you can hear the speaking of the group saying the Pledge of Allegiance but just a few voices saying the under God part, as most people go silent. Indivisible, we are now very divisible. We are being divided by age, race, gender, political affiliations, income, religion, country of origin and anything else that can be thought up to divide us as a people. With liberty. Our liberties are being taken away by our government. The bureaucracy grows and therefore the bureaucracy needs to justify its existence by making rules to manage and force people to comply with. And justice, there is no longer justice for you if you are not a leftist. The communist political leadership can get away with treason and nothing will be done to them. But if you speak up at a school board meeting because they are teaching smut to the kids, you must be investigated for being a terrorist. When I was young, we trusted the FBI. The TV show made the FBI out to be honorable men and women, who love their country, working tirelessly to investigate and bring evildoers to justice. Now, they are Justice Department thugs working for the communist in government to arrest the political opposition on trumped-up charges and arrest members of the opposition's leadership in public to shame them. Rules for thee and not for me, say the communist Democrats as they look down their noses at the common citizen with contempt. For all, no longer for all. Only for those who right think and regurgitate the Communist Party's propaganda. Despite all this, I will still say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag that represents the American people and the best we strive for as a people. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the Republic, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, 2 stars to our flag, And 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance, under God. With God we were a great nation because we were good. Isn't it time to bring God back into the daily life of our nation? I am the old sergeant. Stay informed, prepared, prayerful, grateful, and as always, stay vigilant.